Hello, everybody. We are Two Podcast. Today we are doing a film review of Anthony's Choice with the Havoc.
Not Maverick. Havoc. With Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy.
A Tom, but a different Tom.
Yeah. As always, I'm Joshua Denny.
I'm Jared Smith.
Anthony Crouch.
So we'll let you take the lead on this one.
Yeah.
Since it was your choice of movie.
You walk us in, sir.
So, I really enjoyed it. Talking about Havoc, released April 2025, starring Tom Hardy as a disgruntled bad cop. Well, I thought he played very, very well. Although I think it'd been better if they just put him as a British dude.
Tom Hardy plays disgruntled anything. Pretty well.
Yeah.
Disgruntled gangster, reporter, Venom.
Disgruntled pirate guy in that
Disgruntled
show.
ex-military guy in the movie Warrior.
Top hat.
Yeah, he has a top hat and a mustache. Talking about
Peaky Blinders?
no, not
Oh,
Peaky
I was like,
Blinders. No,
he was a Jew. I don't know what the,
I
what
didn't,
the
I
problem
didn't
is.
know he was a Peaky Blinder.
Yeah, he was a Peaky Blinders.
Yeah.
What is that movie?
Probably my favorite part.
Talking about the movie where he's a gangster with twin brothers in it, where he's got a twin
No.
brother.
It's hey Siri. What's the Tom Hardy movie where he has a top hat?
You're not going to narrow it down.
That is definitely not the movie. He was great in Mad Max, played a disgruntled ex-cop. Okay,
Is it ex-cop in Mad Max? I thought it was already after the fall.
well, yeah, but he is an ex-cop. You know, like Mad Max. Max in the Mad Max movies was a cop.
Really?
Yeah, that's the first one. He's a cop.
I never understood that part of it.
I was a huge fan of the Mad Max films.
I like the first one. I like the Mad Max movies that I've watched. I didn't care much for Furiosa,
I didn't watch
but I think only because it was just it just felt really disconnected.
Taboo.
He's not a pirate,
I thought he was like a pirate gangster. Like he went on the sea and he.
and it was a series, not a
Okay.
movie. That's probably why Siri didn't give you anything. No, it was he's like a smuggler of sorts.
That's a
It's been
pirate.
a while since. No, he wasn't on the ocean.
I thought he was on the ocean and came back because his dad croaked.
Maybe it's been a while since I've watched
It's
it.
been a while since I watched it too, but I
Alright.
just remembered it was him as the top hat pirate. I'm like, that's great. I want to be a top hat pirate.
So we're gonna stop doing the podcast from pirates.
Yep.
I get really bad seasick.
I've never really been on.
I want to man the guns.
That's fine. As long as I'm drunk, I'm fine.
Never really been on boats.
Really?
I've never been on a boat. You get seasick.
Let's
He
buy a
just said he
boat.
doesn't get
Yeah.
seasick unless he. Or he's only good if he's drunk. I don't think any of us are fucking captaining the ship.
I think we're
I
perfect
think-
pirates.
Yeah, I think
Right.
drunk pirate captain piloting the ship's great. You're not going to hit another boat.
I know. We'll buy like a pontoon. We'll mount like
Famous last words.
a brownie on top of it. Okay, and then we'll put it in Lake White. and we'll just start robbing
Did you hear him?
the
He's
rich
like,
white folk.
he's like, I'm not going to hit another boat. It's famous last words before someone hits another fucking boat.
No, I'm 100% ramming every
Well,
boat
yeah,
that
no,
I
you
see.
have to stay sober to get the boat out of the dock. And then once you're on the ocean, you start drinking so you don't get seasick. And then when you get close to the next dock, you drink some black coffee so you can park the thing correctly. It's a system. We got this. It's fine.
I feel like this is all planned out, and nothing of this has to do with the movie Havoc.
If you've seen the movie Havoc, it takes place in no water, but
Yeah,
it is
no
raining a lot.
It does. The rain's the whole movie.
Pretty much.
Or
Start
it
to
rains
finish
blood.
almost.
I mean, they really should have just filmed it like as like a UK series.
Yeah,
because
honestly.
it's always funny.
Yeah. Or in Seattle.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Thanks lots.
But I don't think Tom Hardy can pull off like that version of.
No, it actually doesn't really say where they're at. I just assume they're
I assume like New York.
I assume Chicago.
weird. I assumed New York just because Tom Hardy was something broken.
Yeah, I assume like New York, but like mixed with Detroit.
Okay, yeah.
Like, because it was a.
So what you're saying is New Jersey.
Yeah.
It was filmed in New
New
Jersey.
Or Staten Island in New York.
It was filmed on the Jersey Shore.
I gave the
No.
I gave the plot. I gave it a 7 because it's an action movie. My notes for the plot was it's bad guy disguised as good guy. It's bad guys disguised as good guys. Well, being bad guys and thinking that they are kind of good guys, and a group of Asian people are trying to avenge the death of the rain.
It's fairly.
It's pretty much.
I mean, that's pretty accurate.
I mean, it's because they're bad, but then he doesn't want to be bad, so he does one last bad thing to become good, knowing there's no way he can become good, but the whole time considering himself having a moral compass.
Yeah. I myself gave it a 5.
What's our total overall rating?
No, we're doing 4. This is just the plot.
Plot, okay.
I gave the plot 5, mostly because I was very confused for 50% of the movie. But it had Timothy Olyphant in it, and I'll watch anything with Timothy Olyphant in it. And I mean, I was taken out with the plot of same thing we talked about before we started. There's no way a semi-truck moves that way. And I saw better cars CGI'd in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Possibly Vice City.
Actually, I've seen better cars and CGI'd in Troy.
It really reminded me of a early Need for Speed.
To be honest with you, all jokes aside, Blade Runner, a futuristic movie, had more realistic cars.
Yeah.
They didn't have anything Jason's.
Well, no, but their car could fucking fly.
Good.
I mean, yeah, that's also true.
Did it give Sin City vibes to anybody else? The whole thing gave me Sin City vibes.
I mean, I guess that's what they were going for.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I guess the movie actually is a bigger hit than what I would imagine. If it's given Sin City vibes, really. That was its goal.
Yeah.
That was its goal. And it's good. Pretty well.
I gave it an 8 because it answered pretty much all the questions that came up. Even if it was relate in the film, it answered everything.
Well, it came together in the end, honestly.
Yeah, everything did well. Everything did well as far as the plot goes. I mean, like I said, it's not much to a plot, but it's an action plot.
Yeah.
The whole concept of an action plot, unless it's like Fast and Furious, they're going to give you your first, second, you're going to give you your concept, connection, tie together, finish.
I like that it didn't just drop a bunch of this is the backstory.
Yeah.
This is this person. And I'm just okay, just drop us in the story, answer the question as we go. I like that. That's the kind of thing that I
get that. It kind of gave me I kind of walked in.
I don't want to have to read a book before the movie starts.
It honestly felt like
I must have seen Boy Kills World doing that voice. Boy Kills World is the guy doesn't have the main character is Bill Skarsgård, but he doesn't have a voice.
Oh, and he has Bob's Burgers voice.
Yeah, he has Bob's Burgers voice. Great movie. And that's constantly what it hears the whole time.
Yeah.
It's just a narrator playing everything in his head for him.
That's hilarious. I need to watch this.
I highly recommend it. It's just as bloody as this was.
It is very bloody.
Even better.
But his makes way more fucking sense.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it makes more sense.
Yeah.
Well, I'll get to that. I don't want to get too much into it now because there is later on.
Yeah.
Acting, I had Tom Hardy, Forrest Whitaker, and Timothy Olyphant. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's a good cast. Obviously, there's some probably up and coming actors in there that have been in multiple movies that I probably haven't seen because I haven't really watched the 2025 French movies. So there's probably a lot more the cameo actors in there than what I'm giving credit to. But those three are great. I mean, Forrest Whitaker's doing what Forrest Whitaker does in movies now.
Yeah.
Plays really a background guy, set up the character. Tom Hardy's full action. Timothy Olyphant is playing the role that he always plays in every movie.
The Southern Charming.
Yeah, but always bad for some reason.
Yeah.
But, I mean, good. It's a good. I gave it the acting. The acting is key because he did act well for him too, and I thought them having a good. I thought that they made up a dynamic cast. Forrest Whitaker of old, when he was a lot heavier, would be a lot harder to play the role he is now. The role he played. This is a very scared individual, which he has thinned up.
Yeah.
So somebody who was as large as he used to be, a small Asian lady is probably respect. Yeah, you're fucking fine. You know what I mean? So I gave the acting an 8 solely because I thought those three did great together. And the scenes that they were in together, I thought they did well.
Yeah. I'm on the same boat with you because honestly, every Tom Hardy movie is just Tom Hardy being Tom Hardy.
Right.
Yeah, and I'll sign up for that. I watched the Venom movies because it's Tom Hardy being Tom Hardy.
Hell,
I mean,
he didn't even really speak in the Mad Max movie. He did.
Yeah, I don't think he did.
And he was the lead character.
He was, yeah. And I enjoyed that. It was fine. I'll sign up for that, and I'll watch anything of Timothy Olyphant in it. I would have liked it more if it hadn't been Timothy Olyphant and it had been Walter Goggins. But I just really enjoy Walter Goggins as an actor. It's the whole reason I'm watching The Righteous Gemstones right now.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And Forrest Whitaker is just Forrest Whitaker. It's the same. It's the same thing I have for Tom Hardy. Forrest Whitaker is just Forrest Whitaker in every movie. But I thoroughly enjoy it. So I'll give it an 8 too.
Sure.
I honestly gave it
I
a
tried to
7.
put a face to Walter Goggins. I knew who he was, but I just
I gave it a 7, just because it's an action movie doing action movie shit. But
Yep.
I expect no, like, award-winning
over the top acting.
Yeah.
cinematic masterpieces. I expect, hey, I'm gonna shoot you. Hey, I'm gonna shoot you because you shot me. Hey, I'm gonna shoot you because you shot him who shot you. Like,
But you know what you'll never do? Reload.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
happened once.
Happened one time, and it was a revolver that shot 17 times.
I think the only gun I watched run out of bullets was the harpoon gun he used on the Asian.
And it didn't even actually run out of ammo, to be honest with you. It's because he just didn't bring it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's how consistent they were about not reloading guns.
Yeah.
He didn't even reload the gun. He just left it in. So next thing, setting quality. Settings are nice. It's just wild that no one was hurt outside of the attended people.
Yeah.
They're in a club filled with 150 people, but no one is up there where they're fighting. And also, while they're fighting, no one's like, "What the fuck's going on up there?"
That was like the VIP section, I thought. Was my
Well,
understanding
yeah,
from it.
but I mean,
the same
but
thing.
nobody got hurt. What I'm saying is, I get it's a VIP section. There's nobody in it except for
You don't have to
4
show
people.
the hurt.
Yeah.
That's what I
The same
said.
thing in John Wick,
They might not have showed them, but at the same time, there was an awful
If
lot
two
of
people start fighting with weapons, everyone's gonna scatter.
But that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying is like they didn't. People really didn't even scatter. And I mean, I'm talking multiple scenes. I'm talking. They didn't show anybody get hurt in any car. They didn't show any car actually wreck outside of the police
Bullshit, they
car.
didn't show someone get hurt.
Outside of the police car.
Outside,
Yeah. What I'm saying is those. So the actors that we see are the intended people. The
Yeah.
unintended people would be the innocent bystanders.
Yeah, you don't pay the extras.
But
to
they
do
didn't feel
those
like there was
scenes.
But people died, all kinds of shit. But it's just like they rode up in the middle of the street, shotgun people, and you didn't even hear a scream.
I mean,
Well,
outside
yeah,
of the,
because you don't want to pay the extras.
outside of the
But
nightclub
I'm just saying,
scene, I don't remember
I think
extras.
they were in a traffic jam.
Like,
But they were in a traffic jam.
yeah.
What the fuck were they in a traffic jam for? Nobody's in any of those cars.
It
Oh,
was a
no.
low budget movie.
That threw me off was the traffic jam and you see the motorcycles going past, and there's no cars in front of all the other cars. Like, there's just that red truck in the distance and wide open. I'm like, why?
They couldn't afford to cut off the rest of the traffic that way.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, but what I'm saying is, you obviously see these people pull up, and then you're like, okay. Then you see them get on top of the car. You don't hear any noises. Then you hear a fucking shot. You see a dude's face get shot.
Yeah.
You don't hear anyone scream. Like everyone's saying, "No, if I stay quiet, they won't shoot at us."
I just feel
It's
like
insane.
I think it really was a low budget film, and I'm under the impression that all those cars was just the casting group's cars parked on a street.
If it was a low budget, 90 million and stuff.
Dear God, what did you spend $90 million on in that movie?
Trying to keep that semi on all 18 wheels the whole time.
$90 million?
I just looked it up because I said that. And I'm like, well, let's see if I can back that up.
I
No,
said
90 million.
I said
Was
setting the
88
set.
of it Tom Hardy's pay?
I
It was-
said setting a 7. But
I know, I gave it a 6 because of all the CGI cars.
Yeah.
Like chase
Yeah,
scenes and stuff.
that stuff pulled me out. Honestly, I was struggling to watch the rest of the film after the opening car chase. And the Wonder Twins throwing the washing machine.
I thought that was
Well, it was cool,
there
but
just
then,
wasn't happening.
but you see, because I didn't research anything about the movie before you said to watch it. So
Neither did I. I just saw the trailer. I'm like,
So-
I want to watch this movie.
I see these two skinny looking people pick up a washing machine full of cocaine and throw it to the front of a car.
Have that in mind. While the semi is driving in oncoming traffic,
And
dodging
drifting.
cars,
And drifting. The semi-truck
they
was also
pick this
drifting.
washer up. Or it's a dryer. It's a dryer tank. They pick up a dryer. While a semi is doing this down the highway, they stand flat-footed, not losing any balance, to pick it up like the Incredible Hulk and shove it at a car.
To be honest,
They are
And have in
very
mind,
well.
I get that they're traveling at they're traveling at a high enough speed where it probably shouldn't dip down into the road,
yeah.
and then the likeliness of that happening
Honestly,
is insane. And no one questioned why the cocaine was missing from that particular drive.
not true. Now, honestly, I walked into this movie and I saw that scene where these two small people were able to F that thing through the air, and I thought you were having us watch an X-Men movie about the character Havoc from the New Mutants. I'm like, sweet, Tom Hardy playing Havoc? I'm up for this. And then it wasn't that, and I think that's why I was disappointed the rest of the time.
It could
I
have been.
walked into it going, like, this is an X-Men movie.
It really was one laser beam from your chest away from being an X-Men movie.
Yeah, honestly. It was way too dark. It was rainy.
Okay, so the budget, like the reports are kind of iffy, but the budget's between 80 and 100 million.
Oh,
That is.
So I'm gonna stick with my 6 for the set because the budget did not go to the set.
I would imagine 90 million of the dollars went to the magnets to hold the 18 wheelers to the fucking road.
It could be.
The opening scene, they drift a 18 wheeler.
Yeah.
It's insane. Moving on from that, I have predictability at a 7. It was pretty predictable.
Yeah.
Merely because it's an action movie and they pretty much showed you what they wanted you to see until it's time to see what they wanted you to see again. Then again, and then again. That's what action movies typically do. Action movies are a lot like good movies, but with training wheels. They have all the characteristics of a good movie, but they walk you to the finish line. So there's no reason to get caught behind. Because they're like, hey, this Asian kid died. And then they show an Asian lady. I bet that's his mom. There's no second guessing yourself. She's some relation. She's coming to avenge.
Yep.
She walks in. It's her son. Now you know. Since the police are already showing you pictures of Charlie and Maya being at the crime scene, you know she's seen them too.
Yep.
So now she's going to find out who that kid is, and who his father is, which they tell him anyway because the one dude tells her who it is. So then she goes and finds that guy. You know she's going to go find him. You know she's going to confront him.
Yeah.
She does. Then she's going to say, do this. This happens. They walk you to each scene. So they walk you to each possible situation.
Yeah.
So there's nothing for you to predict. There's nothing that should catch you off guard.
And that, honestly, that's something I enjoyed about it. I couldn't really follow the plot of the movie, but I didn't feel like I needed to. I kind of felt like you knew Tom Hardy was the good guy.
Yeah.
You kind of assumed Timothy Oliphant was going to be a bad guy.
It's kind of
Yeah, you assumed Forrest Whitaker also going to be a bad guy.
You just assumed at the end you
Yeah.
would make the right decision.
Yeah.
morally.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's any good guys in the film. To be 100% honest.
Ellie.
Yeah, Ellie. Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Not really though.
Yeah, she let those people go at the end too. Like, she probably should leave.
She lets people leave, and she also enforces her power at the very beginning
Oh yeah.
by barging in on something that there was no call for.
There was a call. That's why she was there.
Yeah, yeah. It was.
But there was no call. I guess.
His neighbor's call.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
she also. But when the lady states nothing's going on, she's not really. That's overstepping her.
It's not true, but I think with domestic violence, you just if the person says nothing's going on, I think you have to investigate it a little bit.
She also trips him down the stairs, which is an excessive use of
So that's just being a New York cop.
Yeah, it's an action.
That's fair, but that's an excessive use. What I'm getting at
It's not.
she's a
excessive.
good
Yeah.
person. She's a good person, and
Morally, she's a good person.
Yeah.
however, she does break the law being a police officer, and it's really fluctuating with her shit.
And I'm
So
learning.
if I've learned anything about cops, they're above.
Okay, well, she's breaking the law to be above.
Okay. I am the law. Sorry, I really had to close.
She also
Still loading that one.
They're white.
she doesn't listen to her direct officer she was told to listen to.
But he turned
But
out
I
to be
mean,
a terrible
breaks
bad
rules.
guy.
That's fair. However,
I mean, even before that, when she was like put with Tom Hardy
Yeah.
for the ride along.
Well, he wasn't drunk.
Yeah, I mean, like I wouldn't have listened to him either.
Yeah. Like you know,
but that's weirdly enough the only person she does listen to.
saying
Well,
like,
yeah, he's like her favorite drunk uncle.
yeah.
I know, but that's what I'm getting at. She wasn't a good person either. She was just the best of the
She was the best possible good.
the best person in the whole thing is Tom Hardy's wife and daughter. They don't do
Daughter.
Do they ever say
No,
that?
because the wife
They
was
accepted
fine with
bad money.
accepting.
She just
the
wasn't
dirty
okay with it
money.
anymore.
Yeah.
The daughter had no idea.
So the only good person in that movie was the
Tom
daughter.
Hardy.
The daughter, yeah.
Which you only ever see once, hear about twice.
Yeah,
Hear
and
the
she's
name
jumping
of
on the couch, which she should not have been.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there was no good people in
the
the
first
movie.
minute of the whole movie, the dog she's playing with.
I was gonna say the teddy bear that Tom Hardy bought her at the gas station.
Fire teddy bear.
I thought he bought her a teddy bear.
Sounds like a unicorn.
He had a teddy bear in his hand at one
I
point.
think it was maybe it was a teddy bear with a horn on its head.
Yeah,
There was a unicorn. There
I know,
for sure was.
I know he pulled the second thing he pulls off the shelf is definitely pink, purple,
Yeah,
and
the
with
first
rainbows
thing,
and stuff with unicorns.
Yeah.
The first thing I don't know what he comes.
it was definitely a teddy bear was the first thing he had. 'Cause I just remember that.
I don't remember it, but I do remember it. I think the best thing is the dog she's playing with.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So the only good character
The
is
dog's
the
kind
dog.
of, I imagine the dog saying, "Get off the couch."
Trying to be responsible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's Brian.
Brian was the only responsible person in
Who
the
would have
house.
thought? Who would have thought Peter was a police officer? Lois that wants nothing to do with it.
I would believe that entirely.
Must have been, no, they must get back together. They didn't have Chris and Stewie. That must have been
So she wasn't a good person.
me.
So there were no good.
Yeah. There's nobody good. It's just a bunch of bad people acting.
Best
So
thing
was
about the best about the movie was the guns that never ran in
Yep.
Those are the,
until they did for plot reasons.
So what do you give the predictability? I gave it a 7.
Oh, dude, it's hit. It was a very predictable film.
I gave it an 8 only because at the end weren't really sure
That's right.
what Tom was gonna do. Was he gonna be like, okay, yeah, let him take me in because we did that, or hey, there's no one left alive that knows about
That's
the
what
bad
I would have
shit.
done. That's 100% what I'd have done. I'd have walked away scot free and went back to my kid.
Yeah, that's why it was just more if he was going to get away or not, which is the only reason I gave it such a low. I guess I could have given it. I more so, I don't know. I guess in the predictability standpoint, I was more so going lower in the tier, saying that like 0 makes it most predictable, not 10.
Oh, okay.
But
So
I was just
I went
on
the
the
opposite
heavy side
direction.
of giving it because I don't want to be like this movie got a 10 because it's predictable. You know what I mean? Because that sounds negative. Being predictable sounds negative. But giving it a score of a 10 out of its topic would just be.
Okay. Yeah. So
I gave it a 7. I should have went lower, but I gave it a 7 because, like I said,
okay.
you really didn't know. You knew everything except for the finals.
Okay. So for Goff scoring it, I'll go with 2.
I was going lower because, like I said, you don't
Yeah.
want to give negative beats.
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure based on our scoring.
Yeah.
Because that one's a negative.
Okay.
So that would be like the lower it is, the more predictable it is. The higher it is, the less.
Oh, okay.
Overall connection, I gave it an 8 because they did stay on course. It did the plot and everything that they did stay connected. Even when they did the flashbacks, it was to connect with what was going on in the scene.
Yeah.
It wasn't like anything. It wasn't anything far out. Like in Blade Runner, they just show him wanting to make love to a robot for no reason.
Right.
Well,
Like that scene had virtually nothing to do. With the rest of the movie. There was not many scenes outside of him talking to his wife about his daughter because they don't really bring it up anymore.
Yeah.
But that's so early in the movie that it's forgettable.
But it was kind of the main.
But it was
it
the
still
main
even
thing.
came back because it was
Yes,
the main
it was-
reason why he decided
yeah.
to turn himself into.
Yeah, it's that he wanted to live. He wanted to be better for his daughter.
Yeah.
And that so it still had a tie-in, but at that point in time, it just doesn't make sense.
Right.
But it all ties up, and it makes sense. Like I said, every scene kind of had its own moment of connection.
Yeah.
So it was formatted well.
Yeah.
For what it was. Like I said, they didn't really go far out of their way to do anything. Trying to think of some reasons. I really wasn't any scenes too far out of connection. I thought they stayed pretty well close to the plot point. I gave that an 8.
Yeah, I can't think of anything that didn't connect back to a plot.
Yeah. It was very. It was a nice weave of.
Because even the domestic violence thing was to show Ellie's trying to be a good cop.
Yeah.
And Tom's just like, why are you bothering? This is just more paperwork.
Yep.
Yeah, really.
To even just kind of point out the fact that, yes, he is a crooked cop.
Honestly, the more we're discussing this film,
Which is-
the more I feel like it's a better film than what I watched.
But to be honest with you, it is really weird. The same sensibility that he does do. He does display, I'm a piece of shit police officer.
Yeah.
And she doesn't say anything about it.
Right.
But then they find out Timothy Olyphant is also a piece of shit
I
officer.
mean, like, it looked like, based on the police officers that it showed, most of them were crooked.
Terrible people.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, that seems odd. So that's why I imagine it's. There basically was
Well,
one
Chicago.
Batman. There were one solid Batman away from saving this.
Yeah.
That might have just been Gotham post or pre-Batman.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was because like every time I see someone, I was like, dude, they had Batman. That would have worked. If they had Batman, that would have worked. But it was just wild to think that's like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
So what was your grade on that?
On the overall connection, I put it an 8, but the more we talk, it's like total.
Yeah,
it's
like,
like-
it is a really good. The connection, I think I should bump it to a 10.
Yeah.
But bumping it to a 10, I would take the predictability back down to a 5.
like it.
Because it did stay connected, but that keeps my score the same, taking up 1 or up 2, down 2. Keeps my score the same because it did stay very connected. The overall connection.
Yeah.
Was a smooth setting thing, and also like when it did flashbacks, it wasn't like this is a 15-minute flashback. It was like a 2-minute flashback.
It was a very consistent film.
It led it to be it literally in the flashbacks related to the scene. So to the scene of which there was a flashback was part of so well that it was just like, this is a quick backstory. This is why we are where we are. Here we are.
Right.
And it did well with that.
But there wasn't a lot of surprises.
Yeah, that brings us to our next one, the twist. I gave it a 4. It's the twist. It's an action movie. It's very straightforward. Nothing's trying to fool us. We know what was going to go on. Maybe. No, actually, everybody I thought was going to die died.
I think the major twist was
But once you get
Timothy
our pin in the
Olyphant
throat,
actually being crooked, not a straight-laced cop like he originally presented himself, and Tom Hardy turning himself in instead
Yeah,
of.
I think that would be the
I
twist.
think-
Tom Hardy turning himself in.
I think, that's a bit of a twist. It's Tom Hardy turned himself. But the Timothy Olyphant being
Bad
a
guy.
bad cop wasn't. They tell you he's a bad cop.
Yeah.
Because they show you in the backstory that he's a bad cop.
I mean, even
But it
But-
doesn't
but-
show you until
but-
after they already present him as the straight-laced cop.
and the thing
Yeah,
is,
yeah, but it's like another big twist is like, you're like, okay, so he's a dirty cop. But he's a dirty cop
yeah.
because he is double crossing the other dirty cops.
He is the dirtiest
Yeah, he's
of
the
the
dirtiest.
cops.
Him and his gaggle of 2, or
Yeah.
gaggle of 3, because it was 4 people. I was thinking it was 4.
There was 4. One died before he ever got a name. The other
Yeah.
one died after he got a name.
Yeah.
And then the last one died because the son of
Shoots
the
him with a
mayor
shotgun,
finally shoots him after like
After
way
he
too
takes
long.
way too long. Yeah,
after he takes so much damage.
way too long with a shotgun. Like a
Yeah.
shootout with a shotgun up close and personal should be over very.
I put down for my notes for the plot or for the twist as a 4. Not really a twist. It's an action movie, and that displays its intentions ahead of getting to the point where it's.
I mean,
like you said, pretty much the biggest part of the twist is Tom Hardy turning himself.
yeah.
Because you're like, he's already a dirty cop. He probably could lie his way out of this one if he wants to.
Right.
But he elects not.
Like maybe it's because I'm a cinephile, but
Like,
like
to be fair, they also lead us up to a suspicion that he doesn't really, you don't know. He
yeah.
just says he's going to turn himself in, and then just shit.
My whole thing is basically I'm a cinephile, but as soon as Timothy Oliphant and those guys walked on the screen, it was like, yeah, you guys are bad guys. Like it wasn't
But that
surprising.
was judgment of person, because I've never seen Timothy Oliphant. Hey, he's a good guy.
He was a good guy in The Mandalorian, sort of.
He's a good guy in the TV show he was on.
Yeah, I think so. I'm trying to remember the TV show that was. Maybe it wasn't really good.
was it the like there was like a Texas Ranger or something?
Oh, Justified. That's where. Oh yeah, no, he was a good guy.
Yeah, he was.
Well, he was kind of a
enough
Tom
guy.
Hardy cop.
I never
Chris.
watched it, but what I've seen of it, yeah.
And we're back to Walter Goggins because he was in Justified.
There we go. We're full square again.
So, what'd you just put your numbers out there for the for the twist?
Like a 2. There was no real twist to me, honestly. It was.
I put an 8 just because it was 2 separate points that I could think of that
Okay.
could have really gone either direction.
It's fair. I can see that.
Honestly, for me, it felt like a theme park ride.
And especially with one not actually shown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was a very much a roller coaster ride of a movie. It was enjoyable. I loved it, but I could see all the twists coming before
I will say one chicken harpoon to
that I didn't see coming though. Yeah, so that's why I get.
I knew something was going to happen because they showed a harpoon gun. If you show a gun, it's got to go
Really,
off.
the twist really lost their effects. That's what we're getting. The twist lost their effects due to fortune.
Yeah.
For those who don't know what foreshadowing is in a movie is essentially like if they show you a knife, that knife is more than likely going to come. It's just to show you that this is where it's at. This is what's going to be. This is an element.
I want
and
to
then goes
film a
back.
movie that just
And then
shows
goes
a bunch
back
of
to it.
random shit, and then
They
none
do.
of it comes into play.
I will say that in the movie Funny Games with Naomi Watts, Tim Roth, Michael Pittman.
The remake.
Yes, the remake. In that movie, they show a knife at the very beginning of the movie fall into a boat, or fall into the boat, so like it falls down the boat because they're messing with the boat. And then later on, they show her reach for the knife, and you're like, oh, she's going to stab him. And then she grabs it out of her hand and goes, this might hurt someone. Tosses it off.
Yeah,
So you're like, dang, okay.
that's a good movie.
That movie gets
So
you
I need to go watch that movie now.
That movie's very
It's
good.
good.
They actually talked me into buying it like when we were in high school,
wow.
or something.
Good movie.
I'll watch anything Tim Roth.
It's a really funny movie. Tim Roth he's a main character in it. He does a lot of crime.
No.
The two main people are Michael Pitt. I can't think of the other guy's name. It's Brian something. Brad. This is Bradley. Or Brady. Brady Corbin. I've seen that guy from Brady. But he looks insanely close to he looks insanely close to
No, I know him something.
no, you might not know him from something. Because he looks insanely close to the guy that plays Ramsey from Game of Thrones. But that's not him.
Oh.
Because that's what I was thinking. I was like, what? He's for it. What? This says he's from Scottsdale, Arizona. That's not. Can't be the same guy. So I don't think that's filmography. It's not him.
No.
He's not really anything crazy. Maybe you've seen him in something, but
He looks.
he looks just like if you look at that picture, that guy right there, and then you look up Ramsey. Look at the picture of Ramsey Bolton. He's got kind of the same style of face.
Oh yeah, yes.
I was gonna say, but he is foreign. So he's actually from like England. That one was from Scotland. But it's a good. I
Figured out what I saw him in. The terrible live action Thunderbirds movie from 2004. Love that. I love the Thunderbirds. I love the
But he is and it is a good movie. But the two main characters are Brady Corbett and or Corbett. It's
Yeah, I went for 4 Bears.
yeah, Brady Corbett and Michael Pitt. Would I recommend this movie? Gave it a 7. I would recommend it as an action film. I would recommend it. I would recommend it before I would recommend any of the Expendable movies for sure.
Oh, that's hurtful.
I'd recommend it more than I would recommend the last 7 Fast and Furious movies.
I recommended it before it came out, so I gave it a 10.
It's fair, you did recommend it. I told people to watch it. Big ploy on telling someone to rewatch it is if you don't like gore, don't watch it.
Yeah, it's a lot of porns.
It is gory as
Are you
all
telling me that's
fuck.
fake blood?
No, it's real. That's real.
Yeah,
he's just lying.
It's lying to you. It's okay.
He's
It's
just
all
lying.
real. It's all real.
He's just like
Tom Hardy's from Scottsdale, Arizona.
He's rough. But yeah, so I gave it a 7. You gave it a 10.
You know what the thing is? I didn't 100% enjoy it, but if you walk into it not having any expectations of anything being special, like it just being a roller coaster ride, I'll give it a 6.5, 7.
People like roller coasters.
Yeah, no, you know what I mean. Like,
Until you get on it and then you're like, wow, that was really fun for 14 and a half seconds.
Yep.
Every sexual experience I've ever had.
Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to say that yourself.
Yeah, no, I think that's some self.
Yeah, you're not supposed to be like, man, that was the greatest 14 seconds I've ever been. So I think she wanted to go longer. That's on you.
No. No, she talks about Warhammer during it for that 14 and a half seconds.
Yeah.
I really want it to be over. You want to look at my
Can you believe what Horus did to the Emperor? Okay, I'm done.
Do you want to help me paint my orc army after this? We're
Uh,
very happy after that 14
It's an
seconds.
Iron Hands, thank you very much.
rewatchability. I think you can rewatch it. It's an action.
I've
You're
already
right.
rewatched it.
I watched it twice to really put my points in there. I think it's rewatchable. I think any action movie is rewatchable. Because it's like I said, it wasn't like I hadn't predicted anything. It's not like there was a twist that was meant to confuse me. A lot of movies that lose rewatchability are movies that have a twist. Because once you see a twist coming, you don't get shit. Sure. This movie didn't have a twist, so you already know the outcome. Sure. You can rewatch it. I said I gave it 9. Yeah, it's a like I said, action. I mean, if I go back and rewatch Gone in 60 Seconds, I know the whole concept of that. And I'll watch that. That's a concept. That's a.
My daughter
It was
named
way
after
longer
the
than
car.
60 seconds.
No more. She's named after a car.
But I mean, and it's what a wild fucking movie for me to have chosen. Huh?
Yeah,
Right?
But like action movies have that spot in everybody's heart where you're like, it's an action movie. We can turn it on. Even if it's background noise, it's loud background noise, so it's background noise. You use it to play while you're doing other stuff. It doesn't bother you any.
It's not something you gotta pay attention to the story. You can tune in for the fights, for the action.
You can literally watch the opening scene and the last scene. Probably.
It's definitely a movie I could put on and play. I'd be pretty comfortable.
That is actually not that weird of a connection.
Yeah,
a lot of people connect Animal Crossing and Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Speaking
also
of which, Doom Dark Ages, coming out in 50. So
It looks good.
I will say this though, at least you have one thing to bank on Animal Crossing, you don't have to worry about any of them dying. No animals.
That's why you mod it.
Yeah. Mod it. There you
I
go.
just
You're
fish
gonna
on
go
Animal Crossing, man. I do a lot of fishing.
So
Let's cut down
did you
trees.
put your
Cut
rewatchability
big
at
trees.
a 10 then?
Yeah.
Your rewatchability was
I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
8. You can see it? Wasn't bad.
No. It's not my favorite movie. It's not
I mean,
the worst.
action films. You turn off your brain. You
Yeah.
watch the
Yeah.
more. That's
I had the ending. The ending, it's a bloodbath. My notes for it was it's a bloodbath and gory as all get out. And the I don't want to ruin her Christmas line is kind of funny.
Yeah, that was
Since he decides to go away for Christmas.
Yeah.
Which we talked about this before the podcast because that was something we brought up. I'm cool with the line. The line's funny. You're like, ha, that's a little. But then you start thinking about it. You're like, you're going to prison, dude. Yeah, probably for the rest of your life. So when her mom goes to address, like, she's like, Mom, where's Dad at? She's, well, she has to one, either lie and say he's dead, or two, say he's going to be in prison for the rest of his life.
the
then
main
when she
reason
asked-
for the line was not that she's not going to find out. It was the fact that don't tell her today of all
Yeah.
days because today
Well,
is
that's
Christmas.
That's
Wasn't
not
that the day
he
after
didn't-
Christmas, though?
He didn't.
No, because it's all taking place within a day.
But-
So
yeah.
it's midnight the 24th.
Okay.
Then it ends on Christmas Day.
Okay.
But I will say, he actually.
So it's a Christmas movie.
It is.
I will say it's not about telling him that he doesn't want to ruin her Christmas. It was about Ellie saying she would give her the present, make sure she gets the gift that he bought her at the beginning of the movie. Again, with the connection thing, it's very long.
Yeah.
He says, "Don't give her the gift. I don't." Because what he bought was not good enough for her. And he knows.
Yeah.
But it's going to ruin her Christmas eventually when she finds out. That Christmas, I had a lot of fun at my dad. Yeah. Sucks.
I have money that Tom Hardy doesn't go to prison in that movie. I bet he flips on the other 3 guys that are dead. And that's what I would do. And they probably buried him in
Didn't
the
say
cover.
he's going to spend a lot of time.
Yeah, no, I don't see him serving any time. I see him not being a cop anymore, and
He's going to be a firefighter. Or a weapons expert, because apparently he can make them unlimited.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
fucking up, down, left, right.
Honestly-
start fucking whatever.
honestly, I'm just hoping that they'll have a spin-off of Havoc where it's a sequel to that movie Captain Ron from the 80s, and he just goes down to Florida and pretends to be a boat captain. That's what his next life is, Tom Hardy with an eye patch and long hair.
No, he's going to be in the next Jason Statham movie, Prisoner.
Okay.
Because Prison Guard.
Prison guard.
Yeah, because his movies have been fucking job titles.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. These movies are quite like
That would be hilarious.
sci-fi movies.
I want to watch like a movie with fucking Jason Statham versus Tom Hardy.
I'd watch that. I'll watch anything Jason Statham.
Agreed.
But I will say that that's a very sci-fi movie. Sci-fi movies. Me and my brother used to joke about them all the time. The sci-fi movies are so funny titled because you can read the title and like, not the movie.
Yeah.
Because it's like I'm 1000% positive Snakes on a Plane was meant to be a sci-fi. It gives you the whole premise. Like, there's literally a movie called, there's literally a sci-fi movie that my grandma used to watch sci-fi movies all the time. She went to the house, she just watched sci-fi. It was the only channel she'd watch. It didn't matter what was on it, she'd watch it. She normally would try to watch Battlestar Galactica, and then it would go off, and she'd watch whatever else. But it's like, the movies of it was like ancient Indian whose head was cut off by cowboys. Yeah, rides horse in the mountain. Anyway, I think I know what this is.
Man in the screaming brain.
Yeah, I think that's weirdly enough. I'm going to guess this movie's probably. I'm going to imagine this movie probably has something to do with the headless Indian
Mars
who was
attacks.
killed by cowboys and is now treating everybody with revenge. I imagine that's what this
Final
movie's going to be.
Destination.
Yeah, I mean, Final. Yeah.
Well, that one, Final Destination, they die multiple ways. Okay.
But it's
And
their
if you
final
watch-
destination.
If you watch
it is.
the last one, it ties back to the first one. The last one's prequel to the first movie.
Yeah, but now they have a new one.
Yeah, that's a different line. Have you seen the last one?
No.
The very last scene of the last one, the guy's giving one the plane. As you see, Devin
Oh, I know the
Seawa-
twist of it. Yeah.
Yeah, but Devin C was like freaking out. That's when they get taken off the plane, and he stays on the plane. So, and that's what the whole death series for them is pushes over to the movie.
So you can just watch it in continuous loop.
Yeah, unless you watch the one where you're allowed to make the decisions on DVD. The ones where you're able to make decisions. If you choose Tails, the movie ends.
No.
It's literally the first, like, your second or third. I think it's your second choice of the entire movie. Is if you want to call heads or tails when they're flipping a coin, whether or not the dude gets to ride with the chick or not, or whether or not, or heads or tails, or who gets to sit in the front or not. And then if you choose tails, the movie just ends. Tells you how everybody lived their lives perfectly. And it's fine.
Interesting.
Don't give me that choice. Because now that ruins the rest of that. This movie has no connection to any other movie. No reason. It's like Fast and Furious with the third movie is actually supposed to be the seventh. But now, so if I watch this in the order in which you want me to watch it, I'm going to watch it 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 3. But however, 3. So basically, I'm going to watch them be old in 7 and then somehow teleport to a young age in 3.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
I struggled with Tokyo Drift. I didn't enjoy the film, but the Mustang, that really ticked me off. Taking a Mustang motor out of a Mustang and putting like a super motor in it, that bothered me a lot.
I never watched it because I couldn't get past the fact that it was none of the original characters.
Oh, Dom's in it.
For like 2.2 seconds.
Yeah, very end. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I never
He
made it that
meets
far.
Lucas Black.
Yeah.
Lucas Black is now the Drift King.
Yep.
And then Han Han becomes the
The Aaron kid went to school with me.
Aaron Thomas.
I was trying not to say his last name again.
The odd chance that Aaron Thomas or any affiliation with Aaron Thomas listens to this and gets offended by that statement. They would have to know him in school because that's what he told him. He said,
I mean, yes, this is true.
He told everybody he was a Drift King.
Yeah,
he's
and
talking about
he
he's
had
going
owned
to
a
Japan.
Porsche 911.
Oh.
Yeah.
So he had a terrible home life.
He was special. He was special. But that's what he told me.
Yes, that's what he told me.
Not a bad guy.
Because I tried to convince him to drop it at one point, and he just wouldn't.
Not a bad guy. Just it's just what he did. So, how'd you have your ending? Number wise, did you say
I did not say the number. I gave it a 10.
just give it a 10? Huh?
No, I kind of wrote down as a 10. I liked it.
Okay. This was your choice of movie. You did thoroughly enjoy.
Yeah,
it.
like
You
all the
did
bad
very
guys
happy.
got wrapped in a nice little bullet-filled bow.
Yep.
And put in a box. I liked it. Tom Hardy kind of semi-repented.
Yeah.
I liked
This
it.
is where it went off the rails for me. Relatability. Did I relate to this? Not a fucking shot. It was going to be much lower. I explained this before the podcast as well. It was going to be significantly lower. I did give it a 4, which means it can only get a 4 lower. It was going to be significantly lower. I'll give my notes, and you'll hear at the end of my notes why I gave it a little bit above where I wanted to give it.
Okay.
It says, my note says, I mean, it's insane from the start. The police chases, the control of the semi, the unlimited ammo. I think one gun is reloaded the entire movie, and that's a revolver. The damage that people take, the fact that everyone is in flight or fight mode is just victorious.
Yeah.
They literally state the one girl doesn't know how to fight. She can't shoot a gun, but she fucking cleaves 3 people with a meat cleaver. All while dodging attacks from people who are clearly trained fighters.
Yeah.
Dude's coming up there throwing a fucking straight kick at her. She steps back, cuts his fucking leg. Like, we're talking insane shit.
She has great instincts.
Yeah. Spider-Man, like, fucking
She has the force.
dude. Shit was wild. Tom Hardy, you're like, all right, he's a dirty cop. That's cool. Then you see him fight, and you're like, oh, is he fucking ex-military? What the fuck is happening? Why does he know how to fight like that?
He probably
But
was.
every
It's
single
an action
person in the movie knew how to fight. They were all fighting very parkour style. At one point, Tom Hardy sprints and drop kicks somebody.
That was dope.
Insane. As slow as he's moving the whole movie, he drop kicks that guy.
He's
then they pan
conserving
back.
his energy.
But then they pan back to him and he's like, ow. No way, dude.
That was
The
fucking
fight
dope.
scenes were absolutely insane. They were just gore filled.
They were dope.
Every one of them was gore
They were
filled.
fucking awesome.
Just horrible fight scenes. They were just off. There's more blood in that with pistols than there was in Troy, and they used fucking swords and severed each other's limbs.
Different time.
Yeah, the blood would bleed
So
different.
if they made Troy in 2025, oh my god,
Yeah,
how much blood
unreal.
would there be?
But they should have made this one slightly more realistic.
I love
Absolutely
it.
insane.
It
The,
was
oh, this is my
fucking
final
right.
line to it. I said it would be a 2, but my luck is as shitty as that sometimes, where I'm just in the wrong place, the wrong time, shit happens, I have to be involved. That, I agree. I'm right there with old Charlie and Maya. I'm right there with them. That shit would happen to me. I'd be the guy who's out in the fucking car that gets held hostage later, and then he's like, hey, I gotta tell my fucking friends or I'm dead. That's the situation I'm in. And that's why I was like, yeah, I guess I can relate to that. The rest of this movie is just fucking insane. Literally, the lady unloads on a, I'm pretty sure it was a 200 round Mag 10 into their car. No one gets hit.
That shot.
The car, every window is busted out. There's bullet holes everywhere. You don't think she would have possibly hit the engine? A single bullet wouldn't have fucked the engine up, and they just drive this car for the rest of the fucking movie.
They didn't drive it long.
Insane. Yeah,
They drove it to the final destination.
That's absolutely. But it's everything was just so over the top that there was no way to relate.
I relate to the store clerk at the beginning.
Where he's like, "Not my fucking problem."
I gave it a 7 because of that.
That's insane. There's no way to relate to that. Like I said, I would have given it a 2, but I gave it a 4 because I know my luck is just shitty enough to be in the wrong place.
I feel like if you live in Detroit, it's incredibly relatable. Or like Cleveland.
I don't know.
Like if you live there.
I mean, they're also, like I said, they're also literally in the club scene where they're at that fucking club. They're literally fighting. You hear glass shattering. People are still just dancing.
You gotta think that the only reason I am bringing this up is because John Wick did it, and I watched someone and they made a really good point. It's a club. It's very, very loud music.
True.
People
You're
watch
not
their
gonna
body fall from up there and be dead,
And they start running.
But their only response really was, "Oh shit!"
Run. What would you do?
Insane.
Well, I mean, if
They're
you,
probably also drunk, so it would take them a minute to register
and if
it.
it comes back
It's
to
insane.
That's the only thing I'm defending it because nightclubs
The
are
scene
very loud.
where they drive up at the fucking, where they drive up and they shotgun old Forrest Whitaker's whole fucking platoon of people. They literally drive through a busy intersection, get out, shotgun people. You hear no noises, no one gives a shit. Everyone's yo, not my problem.
That's because the camera audio equipment is deafened by the sound
they
of the
must have
shotgun
noise suppression.
blast at close range. So the camera didn't pick up anything else. That's all that
you know,
That's not what happened because it didn't make those sounds.
God help me that I'm defending this film at all. Because I really don't want to. But from the time of watching film, a whole lot of really terrible crap happens in this town, like a lot of like Batman level Gotham City bullshit. So maybe people are just used to it. Like, you know, you're just sitting in the red truck beside the black car, they're getting shotgun, like,
And you're just like, shit. Tuesdays.
You're like, damn, I saw him with that shotgun. I'm just glad it's not me.
I would have loved it and made it better if they just panned over the guy in the red truck. He's hitting the lock button and he sees the people walking up the shotgun, and that's just.
Like I said, it's just,
That would be great.
it's just insane. Like I said, like nothing. Nobody gets out of their cars and runs or just go, fuck that. Tell nothing, see nothing.
They're just used to it.
Insane. And the whole police force is dirty. I mean, sadly, I guess you could make that relatable nowadays.
Yeah.
Certain police forces, one in Tennessee particularly, didn't do too well for themselves. One chick gets cinched with everybody. No,
I thought they all did really well for themselves.
No. They all did really well for her.
They all finished. So that's positive.
Like, yeah, she did really well for all of them.
Yeah, but she's just a really good
But
team
I'm
player.
pretty sure a lot of them lost their job.
Well, that's because someone didn't enjoy a good time.
And it was dirt.
It was the team building.
Yeah. And it was dirt. She was cheating on her husband. It's all fine. But, so, getting relatability at 4. Yours was a fucking 10. I think it's a 10. What'd you say?
7.
It's not really.
I relate to the clerk at the beginning.
It's not. I'm
Because
not even for that.
my fucking problem.
It wasn't this problem.
I mean, for me, as I live in Podunk, Ohio, I will go with you and give it a 2.
Mine was a 4. 2 was what
I'm
my
going
original
half
was.
of you. I'm going half of you.
It was. Well,
I related.
like I
related
said,
to
if
somebody
you,
in the movie.
if you put if you put Batman in the background, I'm like, wait, okay, this relatable goes up to a fucking 0.
What I want to do is rewatch it frame by frame and just see Batman jumping
Yeah.
away one time.
Like I said,
just
it's
like in
literally-
one frame of a scene. That would be
It
hilarious.
literally looks like the prequels to Batman's.
It would have been amazing.
It just had to have been gone.
It should have just randomly showed some kid with dead parents in an alley.
No, where I
Of course,
thought
it was the Joker dancing off in the distance. Oh shit! Oh shit!
for me, because where Dane was having like a thing in the X-Men movie because of the start of it, it's been a nice at the end instead of cops rolling, it's just the Blackbird just like
It was just
it's like
Now they just need to reshoot the ending just for that.
Mr. Summers, I'm here to help you.
Well, no,
Yeah.
they couldn't. It was a Netflix movie. If it was like Disney or Hulu, they could have.
Disney will end up soon.
Yeah,
It's fine.
but-
Probably.
Soundtrack. I gave it an 8 because it's an action movie. Action movies typically do well with their soundtracks. They fit their scenes pretty well and try to portray how they want you to feel for that scene. It's kind of like your music at the beginning is very stoic when he's talking to his wife because you hear the background music. It's like he really just wants you to feel bad for him. Then as it progresses, it gets a little bit more intense. You're like, oh, he was a piece of shit the whole time. And then you're like, but he's trying to change his ways by being a piece of shit for hire
Yeah,
rather than just a piece of shit originally.
he's a piece of shit supporting his family.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit trying to get out.
That's why he did it to begin with.
Yeah.
Was to support his family.
Yeah.
And then it just
It bit him in the ass, but that's what he originally tried to do. I gave the soundtrack a 6 because nothing stood out to me.
I gave the soundtrack a 10 because of Bing fucking Crosby. Had a Bing fucking Crosby Christmas song. Of course I'm gonna give it a 10. I love Bing Crosby.
That's fair. It's like no part of the soundtrack stood out to me, but that could have gone either direction.
yeah.
Basically, if a 1 to me is the
There's-
soundtrack makes 0 sense for the movie.
Kind of like,
Like 5 and 6 is just, I don't feel like it really added anything, but I don't feel like it took anything.
yeah, like a one is kind of like
Now if it would have like
really
some,
loud
like,
music
metal,
for no reason.
instead of like some like new
That's-
metal, like Limp Bizkit or something in the background, like 10.
Yeah, I give it because, like I said,
It wasn't as ambiotic as Troy, but
Yeah,
it wasn't.
yeah. but it wasn't.
It wasn't oppressing or
I
to the
think,
detriment.
I think
of
it just the music that they had in the movie was the swagger,
Yeah.
and that's why I give it because that's what it did. Because you're like, okay, this is how I'm supposed to feel. I feel like the music did what it was supposed to do. And that's why I give it higher. I don't think you did it. That's 6. I'd say 5 is right there. 5-6 range is right where you said, kind of like the music is just there. You have nothing. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that's pretty. That song was good for it, or whatever like that.
Yeah. I felt like the acting did enough to portray the emotions. The music really didn't add
Amplify.
anything.
I could see. My overall score for it, which I imagine you probably didn't do your overall score again, is 75 of 110. If you do 110 because you do 11 topics, all to 10, this would be, out of the 2 movies we've done, it would be second place. First movie was in 93, which is hard to believe that it's within 18 of Troy. Maybe I was a little too harsh on Troy.
I think you're really harsh on Troy.
I think I was a little bit more lenient in this. I
Yeah.
think Troy lost a lot in relatability to me
Yeah.
because I did not relate to it in any way, shape, or form. It's just I don't know. That's just
Got a 90 for me.
Jesus Christ. 110.
I'm
Yeah,
fairly sure.
I really enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, so I guess that's fair. Troy's one of my favorite movies of all time, and I give it a 93. So you really enjoyed this movie. You gave it 90.
The only movie that, like, in the past 10 years that I've watched that just really hit this like itch.
Cannot fucking think of the name of it.
It was some.
You'll have another movie in that, and it'll be Winker's World.
I'm hoping. But it was some. I think it was a Filipino movie.
Logan?
Yes, it was a Fallopian movie. Because it was, I know it was foreign. I had to watch it in like dub, but like it just had that level of over the top action and violence, like that I want from a newer action movie. That just really scratched that itch, and this was the closest thing that I've came to from that. And like I said, I just cannot remember. I've looked for it and looked for it. It was on Netflix. I don't know if it's still there. I just can't think of the name.
Well, for my overall score, because I just don't keep track of numbers, so not if I gave it a cat's ass, a 62.
Cat's ass 62. Is that like lesser or higher than a normal 62?
I don't know, but there's this cat's butt here, so I figured 62 was the way to go.
Yeah. It checks out. You were really didn't enjoy the movie. You really enjoyed the movie. I was just kind of I was in the medium there. Just goes to show really how diverse we're all thinking into these movies, or how like with the movies that we're watching, the kind of thought process we're going into it. Anthony obviously was way more in favor of his relatability to one individual who played a 13-second role than the rest of us.
Because the guy from the start was basically the guy from oh crap. Why am I forgetting? The Clerks. It was basically Clerks.
Yeah, pretty much is what he got there. Yeah, that was our movie review on the movie Havoc in 2025.
Yep.
And if you guys need to know, like, I mean, obviously there's going to be spoilers. Probably should have said at the beginning. This is our second one we've done, filmed and been to record. We've done multiple.
The Night Comes for Us. That was the name of the movie. And I'm definitely probably wrong about the origin. But yeah.
Okay. So now I've selected the movie. Anthony selected the movie. Now Jared's turn to select the movie. Go from and that'll be our next.
Indonesia.
Oh, Indonesian.
That'll be the next
Sorry,
one.
I'm not good with
Deal.
geography.
Obviously, when this one comes out, we will have posted hopefully 2.
Yep.
We are about a week behind in our postings. So
I have the movie that you're going to do next time if you guys would like me to announce it. But you can do it.
Yep.
The movie we are going to do is one of my favorite movies. It's a cult classic called The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai and the Eighth Dimension. It has Peter Weller in it.
So I'll be able to find this.
If you want, you can borrow my Amazon and watch it. This is because
That's all right.
it is amazing, it is hilarious, and it has the guy who played Doc Brown in it. It's got, yep, that's that one.
It's on Tubi.
It's on Tubi. It's an amazing
It's
movie.
called what?
The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai and the Eighth Dimension. It's got, what is his name? The Jurassic Park guy, Ian Malcolm. I can never remember his actual
Adventures
in the Eighth Dimension.
Buckaroos.
Yes. Well, I can tell you who's all in it because honestly, it is an all-star cast. Like it,
Buckaroo Bandit.
Banzai.
Bonds. In the 8th dimension.
Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai across the 8th dimension.
Yep, it came out.
1984 sci-fi comedy. An hour and 43 minutes long.
It is an amazing film.
Across the 8th
Has
dimension.
Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum's in it. The guy who played I just pull up the cast here, it'd be a lot easier. It's got Peter Weller in it. It's got John Lithgow. Christopher Lloyd. It's got some decent big hitters.
Oh my gosh, it has Damn it! I wish I could say the name. I was gonna pick some random actress.
Honestly, it's got Clancy Brown in it, and Clancy Brown.
Jamie Lee Curtis is in it.
It's got a lot of really good people in it. I highly recommend it. It's one of my favorite films of all time.
Jonathan Banks.
Like legitimately,
Actually, no him.
I was like, okay. Like legitimately, you will enjoy it. It is a fun adventure through absurdity.
Oh yeah.
And since this will be posted in 2 weeks after this posting, will be when we post that movie review. So if you guys want to, in that amount of time, you can watch it alongside us so that you can see our takes and that's yours.
Yeah.
Watch it before.
Yeah.
Since we kind of bounce around. Sit alongside.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I meant like, well, because we're going to be watching it we have the day. Within the next 2 weeks, we will have watched it and then be doing a review on it. I was saying watch alongside us with those 2 weeks.
Gotcha.
So like watch it before we upload the review. So,
Although in the future we might actually do live watch-alongs.
Yeah.
Just not currently because our setup is
Not great for that.
not great at the moment.
Yeah. Be nice Mystery Science Theater 3.
Also, sound, video, if you're watching video, any pointers or anything we can do. We're all relatively new to this kind of space. So the sound equipment is just stuff we bought off Amazon, and I'm not really sure what I'm doing as far as levels and mixing with this soundboard because it's really cheap. So, yeah, if you have any pointers or anything you want to give us, let us know.
and
Or
we'll
if
be
there's any
coming,
issues.
we'll be coming up on our 4th videos.
Yeah, this will be our third.
So our 4th will be coming up soon once we have those. I want to get at least 4 in before we have a Discord page up and running, and then we can start taking movie review
Definitely.
from movie suggestions from other people.
Discord, Patreon,
Yeah, stuff like
support
that.
us. Yeah, when we do Patreon, we'll have some Patreon exclusive content. I know we talked about like running a Dungeons and Dragons campaign. We'll either do full release of that or we'll clip it.
Yeah.
Whichever people would want to see.
We actually could, if we wanted to, start. Are you getting into Warhammer? Like
Or to try to.
me and you already have armies essentially. I think so. We still have to canvas. We very well could do for Patreon as well, not just a D&D. We can actually record our battles.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then like release those if people find that interesting or whatever.
Right.
You don't have to. Maybe we'll release like one free.
Hell, we might even start doing like skits or like short film stuff.
There we go.
Yeah, we could.
Like,
The big thing is
really, we're open to anything.
pretty much what we're planning. What we're going to do if once we do expand into Patreon stuff, we will release probably the first episode or a teaser episode of that, just so that you can see if it is something you're interested in. Because you might not know what it is. You're like, oh, I want to check it out. There's no reason for you to spend money just to see if it's something you want. But like, if we give you like a little teaser to like the D&D campaign, you could pop in and be like, oh, I did enjoy that. I something I'm willing to.
Eventually, doing Patreon and stuff,
Yeah.
we will have like we'll try and film live.
Yeah.
So you guys can interact with us, stuff like
but
that.
we've also,
Like I said, we're still relatively new to this stuff, so that might take a little while to get set up.
we are also looking to possibly get to the status of like with the Discord and people that suggest movies and stuff. If you suggest a movie, we want to get to a certain point that if you do suggest a movie, that we will possibly either do you coming in or a call in, and then we will let you put your review out there for people of your movie. We want to eventually get to like where people are talking. It's not just us three people we talk to about. Like we might sit down with somebody that says like, this is my favorite movie that we've watched, or whatever. And we might sit down and kind of not necessarily interview them, but try to get their take on it and see why it's their favorite movie. Maybe it's a movie that we all think hated, if somebody loves this movie and they're trying to convince us to join their side on whether it's good or why they thought it was good, and like try to get us to understand it better.
Yeah.
Maybe one of us, this movie in particular, one of us enjoys it, the other two
Yeah.
are in between, and he has a second person on his team. That's why we're just trying to get a better understanding.
Bitch, I got the internet on my side with this.
Yeah.
Did it rate well? It's about tomato.
The reviews on it are pretty positive.
So basically,
I'm not against it. He was against it. I was just saying. I'm just
Just throwing him under the bus. I see
yeah,
how
yeah. He was the one. He said he hated it. I
So,
hated it, but it wasn't
yeah.
his style. It wasn't his movie.
So basically, what we are saying is the podcast format's a bit amorphous right now.
Yeah.
And we're going to figure it out. It'll be great. We'll be glad to take you along for the ride.
So it's got a 5.7 out of 10 on IMDb.
That's not the one I wanted to get.
What?
What's the rock?
1.5 out of 4 for Roger Ebert.
What's the rock?
What's the Rotten Tomatoes?
66%.
That's not bad.
I feel vindicated.
Well, that's.
I
I think
gave
they show like critic.
I gave it a 62,
That's
so
what
I'm
I'm
out
thinking.
with everybody else.
Let's see.
I felt the same way as Roger Ebert about it. I feel good about that.
So the tomato meter 66%, popcorn meter 37%.
Okay.
I'm not sure which is which. I'm assuming the popcorn one is for people watching.
Yeah, I think it's fans.
Yeah.
I think that the tomato is like their
their
rock
people.
tomato.
Yeah.
And then the popcorn's for people who want like the audience.
So I like it more than most of the audience does. Okay, cool. See,
There was audience review. First one I see the 2 out of 5. Next one's a 0.5 out of 5.
Oh,
3.5 out of 5. 2 out of 5. 3 out of 5.
Plus just Jared multiple times.
0.5 out of 5.
Jared just got on there and posted it multiple times. He didn't like it. Every scene he didn't like, he just put it in there and talked this.
Right.
But like I said, pretty much like Jared said, our format isn't ever changing. Like we're not looking to fucking we're not just going to spawn people in and shit.
no.
But we're always open for if anybody's got any suggestions or pointers or anything of that nature. We will take them in and listen. If you watch this on YouTube, hell yeah. If you watch this on
So it's on Spotify.
Yeah, let's do this on Spotify, and we'll get ourselves on YouTube as well.
Yeah, we'll try and get it on all the major podcasting platforms.
our first episode was released
Today.
well, no, I can't say things.
Yeah, well, which it was.
Our first episode was released on. It's going to be released on May 8th. But we will be trying to get them.
As of
on,
this recording, it's at 51%.
Dear Lord.
but we will be posting on Mondays. We're just saying the first one came out on a Thursday, which is just because we wanted to get one up.
Yep.
And then we will be actually posting officially on Mondays. It should be every Monday, but it'll be offsetting. So it'll be
So probably
movie
starting
review.
this current one will be on Mondays.
Yep. Yeah, so we'll have one Thursday, and then we'll have one. It should come out on Monday, the 12th or 11th or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So it'll be short week for 2.
Yeah.
But then we'll go back to every week, at least. But it will go movie review, banter, movie review, banter, movie review, banter.
Yeah.
And then if we do any kind of things with Patreon stuff, if we do any of that stuff, that won't be the normal Monday content. That would be some other time released throughout the week.
Yeah, that'll be probably just random.
Just not to overload the Monday.
We all have full-time jobs,
Yeah.
so...
Yep. So that will be, if that stuff gets posted, that stuff will get posted. Also, these earlier ones are going to be a little bit more raw. There might be more editing down the road once we get knowledge and
Knowledge.
Yeah.
knowledge is pretty much what we're shooting for. Once we get more stuff that going, should be golden.
This is very much a DIY. That's our editor.
He's our editor.
This is the sound guy, and I don't know jack about sound.
and I'm just the talent.
Yeah, he's talented.
He's here.
Yeah, I'm just the one that talks more. Weirdly enough,
He bought the mics.
He did.
Weirdly
Purchased
enough,
the equipment.
He bought the mic. I bought the camera.
I provide
outside of
voice
this, outside of this, I have no structure in any facet, but I'm the one that has to try to keep these two guys on the rails.
Yep.
Anyway.
I I mean,
while
he's
we're
doing
talking.
While we're
Well,
talking,
yeah,
yeah.
While we're talking.
Because
I've had to call him twice today to make sure he was
Hey, he's
up
smart.
and
Listen,
ready.
that's what I said. Outside of
outside of here, you have
outside of here,
instruction.
inside of the
Inside of here, means you're
inside
very
of the
structured.
walls, inside of the
That's
walls
the
of the podcast.
Institutism, yeah.
I
And here is the ADHD.
I'm the one who's trying to keep track of what points
Some of
we're
this
on.
motherfucker's not respected.
Weird.
We're trying to keep people. I'm the one that's trying to keep you guys on the point system or where we're at on the points. So we have our discussion.
Yeah.
our discussion points.
That's fair.
So-
Um,
Until
and it is. I mean, it is. Everything's. We're hoping. I mean,
Yep.
we're running. We're gonna keep doing it, even if it's just me listening to it when I'm at work to hear how things sound.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
So, until next time, from the poor man's Sir Ben Kingsley, poor man's Seth Rogen, and a poor man's Kevin Smith. Goodbye from the 2 Up Podcast.